Where are you from?
Stockport. This story actually does take place in Stockport as well. It's the story of the greatest injustice in my life, which I've been thinking for the past 20 years. I've been thinking about it since I was 5 years old, just a little kid, The story of this injustice is about something that I at the time didn't understand because I was 5 years old. And because, I wasn't that, learned in the world, I hadn't read a dictionary, I couldn't really say what this problem was because I was 5 years old. And because you're 5, you can't really explain things very well. And what you may think of it now, looking back on it 20 years later, is a catch-22 scenario. I was 5 years old in a catch-22 scenario. Now, catch-22 is I just explained what a catch-22 is, and I'll explain it once more. So you will understand it. Now, little 5-year-old me and 2 other kids in my reception class were in a Wendy house. Now, a Wendy house is like, if you don't know what Wendy house is, a small shed, but it's made out of plastic, and this one just had a kitchen in it. And, we're little kids, so we're just trashing shit, throwing all the plates and cutlery about, just being right little bastards. And we got put with this conundrum, right? We had to clean the Wendy house in 10 seconds and get out. So you can see where this is going into a catch-22 scenario. Because either way, we were going to get shouted at because we're not going to be able to clean this Wendy house in 10 seconds. So then, ergo, we get shouted at. But if we don't leave the Wendy house in 10 seconds, we get shouted at. So we can't clean the Wendy house in 10 seconds and leave the Wendy house all in that sort of time frame. And then, we ended up getting shouted at. And this is where, what I've been thinking for the past 20 years, this guy just shouting at me, the head teacher just going, "Why were you in the Wendy house too long? You should have got out when the teacher said so. And why was it dirty?" I'm like, look, and I'm trying to explain it, but I've not read a dictionary. I'm just trying to be like, listen, man, I'm just, it's an unfair scenario. Like, what is this teaching our children if you can be shouted at for being an unwinnable scenario? What is this fallacy of shit? And he's there just going, blah, blah, blah. And I'm crying because I'm just trying to reiterate my points. And only 20 years later, after I read the Catch-22, but that I can say to, if I had a time machine, I'd go to my childhood self and say, look, you're in a catch-22, explain this, Just say to the teacher, right, it's a catch-22, get the teacher to, he's probably read the book, I hadn't, I've now read a dictionary, I know what a bloody haberdashery and a hootenanny is, I know what euthanasia is, I fucking learnt it. And I wish I had a spreadsheet of people I would torture. Because the way I went about it was a bit different. So I stalked him on social media, found his address, found his postcode, tracked him down a bit, nothing weird at all, nothing weird happened. But he ended up waking up in a Wendy house, which was messy. And on the wall there was a timer, 10 seconds. You can see where this is leading to, can't you? And I said to him, all obviously masked as well, because it's during COVID. And I said to him, you've got 10 seconds to clean this Wendy house and get out. And if you don't clean it in the 10 seconds, you get shouted at. And if you do, but you're staying there for too long, you get shouted at. And you know what? And he didn't fucking do it! Vindication! There's so much validation right there because this bastard couldn't clean it because he's shit! Imagine 3 5-year-olds can do what a fucking 50-year-old can't do. He's a bastard! And that's what I tried to tell him. I tried to explain my point. And I tried to say that over these years that I've read the book Catch-22, that I was in that scenario. But me, stood here, 25, speaking to this man, thinking about all the emotions and all the pain and anguish this has caused me. And I can't explain the point because of all the pain and anguish. I'm trying to explain why I'm angry. And because I'm angry, I can't explain the point.